Thinking through words, cultural terms and the development of intercultural awareness in la 3330329, redes didácticas entre el lenguaje, entorno e Internet, endorsed by the Vicerrectorat de Formació Permanent, Transformació Docent i Ocupació de la Universitat de València. Cultural terms are words specific to each culture and often difficult to translate into other languages. Precisely because of this, they serve as excellent bridges to better understand other cultures, thus promoting the critical thinking and open-mindedness that should characterize a researcher. Over the years, I have been developing a research project focused on this on the use of cultural words in the classroom. I have worked with students of different nationalities in subjects such as linguistics, translation, and languages like Japanese and Spanish. These students have compiled numerous cultural terms and engaged in research and discussions around them. Beyond their lexical value, cultural terms act as catalysts for transformation in language education. They invite students to question their own cultural assumptions, recognize the limits of translation, and critically reflect on how language shapes perception. This process fosters not only linguistic and metacognitive awareness, but also empathy, intercultural sensitivity, and intellectual humility. The theoretical framework underlying this applied research is the natural semantic metalanguage, developed by authors such as Anna Wierzbicka and Cliff Goddard, among others. This framework places strong emphasis on cultural words, especially those that are central in various cultures, as they reflect cultural experiences and refer to concepts with strong cultural significance that shape ways of understanding the world. In this framework, word meanings must be approached through a neutral metalanguage composed of a small number of universal terms that exist in all languages, the so-called semantic primes, words like I, you, think, would, but, etc. This methodology preserves the neutrality of definitions. Goddard and Wierzbicka highlighted the pedagogical relevance of the method, as it allows for a better understanding of cultural differences in language learning. Objective. My aim is to present and critically analyze some of the terms selected by students from different nationalities, how they work with them, the reflective processes that emerged from these activities, and the advantages and disadvantages of this didactic approach. Methodology. The methodology includes case studies using natural semantic metalanguage techniques, student reflections on their learning processes and surveys, followed by a critical analysis of all the data collected. For this presentation, I will select some Japanese words chosen by students over the years and analyze one as an example. These words were studied by undergraduate and graduate students with basic or intermediate knowledge of the Japanese language. The students belong to specific university degree or master's programs. To find their words, they consulted native informants they knew or relied on their own cultural interests. Case analysis. Several aspects of the cultural words chosen by students are especially noteworthy. For instance, students tend to be interested in words that refer to a philosophical view of life, often different from that of their own cultures. Onomatopoeic or mimetic words are also of interest as they form a particularly developed category in Japanese. One case study to be discussed is the word kintsugi. According to the online dictionary Jisho, this word is defined as repair of ceramics with lacquer mixed with gold, silver, etc. However, this definition does not fully capture what the word implies, such as the value of imperfection, the idea that lived experiences enrich a person or object. This idea is connected to Japanese philosophy and to other cultural terms like wabi-sabi. The working technique used is as follows. 1. The student who chose the word explains to the class why it was chosen. 2. This student may present a definition of the word in natural semantic metalanguage terms, after examples of other words have been recited in class. 3. This presentation is discussed in class, and a joint decision is made regarding its adequacy. 4. In groups, students search for similar words in Japanese culture and discuss their meaning within that culture. These are then discussed in class. 5. In groups, students try to translate these words. If this is not possible, cultural differences related to the terms are analyzed. Then the discussion continues in class. 6. Students reflect in groups on language-related aspects connected to these words. 7. Each student reflects on their learning process. 8. An individual survey is conducted asking whether the activities increased their intercultural intelligence and critical research capacity. 9. The group discusses the topic collectively. Discussion and results. It is clear that the activity is highly engaging for students who become genuinely involved in the discussions about words they themselves selected. The most challenging aspect is achieving precise definition using the natural semantic metalanguage technique. Nonetheless, despite the difficulties, the process proves to be highly enriching for the students, as reflected in both surveys and the final discussion. The developed technique helps students learn second languages more effectively. Moreover, by choosing their own words, the emotional connection between learners and the learning process is strengthened. Through the observed difficulties in translation and definition, cultural comparisons are generated. It is precisely this comparison between cultures and the examination of a topic through various cultural lenses that fosters critical thinking and intercultural intelligence. Thank you.